Hi everyone, things have been going really well for the last 3 months. I've grown the number of subscribers, I've got such great feedback from all of you, and we've explored so many new tools together. I think I'm ready to take this to the next level. I really need a website. No, I'm gonna burst your bubble a little bit. Everyone thinks a website can be cool, fun, it can bring you money, customers, followers, and maybe even fame. But you know what? A website alone, especially a bad website, will not solve all those problems. No, wait. We're not there yet. You have to properly plan before building the website. Yes, we're going to build it. But in today's video, I want to show you all the things you need to do before you start building your website. No, this is actually really important stuff that no one really talks about. So pay attention. In this video, we're going to go over why do you even need a website, what you're going to put in your website, and how to structure it so it becomes the website of your dreams. So this video is only the first in a series. In the next video, we're going to dive into building the website on a tool I really love called Webflow. And I'm going to customize some of the design elements myself. We'll see how that goes. Okay, let's get into this. My name is Romy. Welcome back to Make Something with Romy. In this channel, I explore how to make things online without knowing how to design or code. So the first thing before we get started, and I've talked about this before, is understand the scope of the project, which is what should we put on the website. But maybe it's time to pause and ask yourselves the more important, the more difficult question. Why do you need your website? In my case, my immediate needs are a place where I can showcase the channel content and talk about my journey, and also a place where people can sign up for emails or know how to contact me outside YouTube comments. So while it's good to know the scope, it's also good to think beyond the scope, because that may be crucial knowledge in picking the right tool. In my case, I could also possibly have a blog, a forum, courses, and who knows, maybe some make something merchandise. All right, time to map out my website. So here's a really cool concept that blew my mind when I first learned about it. And it's simply this. Every single part of a website is a box. And it's one box within another box within another box. And all you need to know is how to be organized and figure out what to put into each box. And that's it. That's how you design a website. Let me show you an example of what I mean. Let me take a website I like and break it down into boxes.
All right, so I'm on Mr. Jonathan Holt's website, and it's his portfolio. So if you look at the website, like from a high level, right, we have a top nav, which is one big section here. Then we go down to here, which is the hero image, which is this next section here. Scrolling down, then this is section 3, assuming section 1 is the nav. So this is one entire section here, containing all his selected work. Scroll down, and then finally we have this section, section 4, which is an about. So this entire section here, and then this is just a how to contact him section, and then the footer. Right now I just want to show a breakdown of the sections. So the navigation is this section here, and then this contains like this smaller box here, and these nav links are probably housed in one box, and they are in turn again into 3 small text boxes. Then this main section is probably divided into like 2 big elements. On the left side, this is further divided into probably 2 or 3 sections again. So one section this is another, and this button is a section of its own. Then the selected work section is interesting because first there is this heading here, and then there is all these project section, and within each project box lies an image, a heading, a subheading, and an about. A button to view the project, which is probably a page. So those are like all the small elements each project box is put into. Now we go into this section is more straightforward. we're probably looking at two boxes here, two big boxes first. This is the image. This is further broken down into a heading, a button, and some text. Then we scroll down. This looks like one box is a heading, one box is a text, and then social boxes. Each social boxes has its own image, and then the social link. It's so well done. And then finally the footer. Footer is fairly straightforward. One box, one image box here, and the rest of them are just text boxes. I think after I learned this concept, I never looked at websites the same again. So there is another way in which you can check how your website is divided into boxes, and that is by using your dev tools within your browser. Now I'm using Google Chrome, so I will show it to you using Google Developer Tools. And don't be scared, it's not really as complicated as it sounds. Once you get the hang of it, it's so easy and fun to do yourself. Let me show you this quickly. So let me go back to inspect, okay, and I'm on the elements tab, and what this tab does is kind of just highlights, all the code, right? So let me look at the first one. So you see, this is the top navigation, and let me open this element. All I'm trying to do is highlight the element so you can actually see how it's built, right? So there was like a big box, and this is another smaller box within it. Now within the smaller box, I'm going to expand, and then I will be able to see, oh, this logo, a small box of its own, right? And then there comes the nav, right? Within this nav, I can open, and I will see that there are these three link boxes almost, right? So you see, that's kind of just how all the elements are broken down. If I haven't put you to sleep, let's maybe go into one more. Okay, just one more, okay? Okay, don't go to sleep. This is the next section here. Then within that, these are all these separate boxes. And within this box, this image block, then there is this text block for every image. Then there is another small text box, which is a description. So that's kind of like how websites are built fundamentally. But it's very important for us to understand this concept. I would highly recommend that you can go look into website and actually just click the elements tab on DevTools and understand like how is this website actually built. And it's such a cool learning process because we'll be translating some of that when we will start designing.
So let's break down all the elements I'll need on my website. This is all planning you can do on pen and paper. I'm not going to write this because my mom famously says I can't even read my own handwriting. That's how bad it is. So I'm going to do a less cool graphics version instead.
Let's just try and list out all possible elements on the website. If I'm thinking about the website, it can probably have a logo, possibly an intro, right? It's like some recent videos I've done, and an about section. Now let me think. Okay, so the logo will of course be in a navigation of its own, and maybe we could describe all the tools I'm using to make all this stuff, and then of course a way for people to contact me. Other elements could be, of course, a footer, maybe even a newsletter sign up. That would be really cool to get people to sign up for the newsletter. Maybe even something about upcoming videos. Yeah, I think those are the elements that probably fit with the scope. What I want to do now is actually just break down. We're not even going into the screen. We're not even picking a tool, but I just want to just break down what the website would look like. Let's think through it, right? The website will have a navigation. Maybe section 1 can be, who is Romy? What the hell is this all about? And why have I come to this page? That's essentially what you want to tackle. Then section 2 can definitely be showcasing some videos. I want to bring the videos element more at the forefront. So that's the reason why I'm putting section 2 right after I address, what the hell is this website about? And then section 3 can be just about. So, I'm just thinking about it, but there are a lot of separate topics like, tools, upcoming videos. Instead of maybe dedicating each of them to a section of its own, maybe the best is just to put it all in an FAQ, right? And then contact, have a way to contact, and then of course a footer. Now, remember like how we talked about how everything is broken into boxes? So that's what I want to do next, is kind of break things down in boxes and visualize it before we even enter a tool. Okay, so let's go ahead. So the nav bar have another box kind of housing all the elements, right? And then have a logo, which is another box within that. And then, of course, the navigation to other pages on the website, right? And we can decide on the navigation later. But once we decide on the navigation elements, each of them would be its individual box as well. Now, so section one, this really needs to strongly address, what the website is about. So I want section one to be like straight, get to the point. Like, hi, I'm Romy, and this is what I'm doing, right? And maybe an intro video. And you know what? I've already created like a channel intro, so maybe I can put that there. Now let's go into section two, which is, I think, one of the most important sections. So section two will be a box, and then within this main box is going to be this heading. And then I was thinking maybe we could just start with 4 videos. Maybe I can just pick up the most important 4 ones for the channel yet, and then showcase them there. And each video will be in its own box. Now I can take this one more step further. Okay, God, this reminds me of the movie Inception, but just stick with it. Each video can in turn then be broken down into 3 boxes. The heading of the video, the actual video itself, in the description. So you see, that is how detailed you can think about it especially when you go into placing elements on your website. Then finally, the about section. This is pretty self-explanatory. Just a heading and then an about text, and then the FAQ. The FAQ, again, this is not necessary, but maybe you can do this in different ways. You can house the entire FAQ section in one box, have a heading for FAQ, and then each answer can be its own box, and then that can be housed in another box. Another way to maybe just do it is just so instead of having each question and answer within their own box, just have a paragraph of questions and answers, right? Section 5 is contact. Again, this is very straightforward, heading and then contact details. That is it. As long as you have some basic framework like this, you're kind of good to go. This is just the work I would put in before even choosing a tool.
So we are spoiled for choice when it comes to picking a tool to help us build websites. My philosophy on this is really simple. If you know how to use the tool, it can get the job done, and you like using it, then just go for it. For my website, I thought I'll go over all the tools which I know how to use. So Card is for one-page websites. Even though I love it, I have many more pages planned in the future, so I'll not be using Card for this one. Shopify is used by people to build a store online, like Etsy or something. So clearly, this is not for me. I don't plan to charge you to watch my videos. The tool I'm going to use today is Webflow. Now look, this is not the only tool out there. There are other tools out there which are probably even more popular. Like for instance, there's Wix, there's WordPress, and there's Squarespace. I've worked with all of them, but I think Webflow gives me the perfect balance between giving me the flexibility to customize the design and, also not being that hard to learn, even for a non-designer like me. Alright, so that's it for planning. In the next episode, we are actually going to dive into Webflow and start building our website. So the website you've always wanted to build? This is the time. Start planning it out with all the steps I showed you. And I'm going to see you in the next episode in a couple of weeks. This is Romy, and I know this week we didn't technically make anything, but you know what? Half the battle is won with a good plan.